My name is Rick Marchant. I live in Cazenovia, and we moved here 5 years ago from Norwich, New York. You know where Norwich is? It's 45 minutes south of here. And there, I graduated from high school there, went in the service, went to college, came back, and I taught there for 32 years. I taught art in the high school. And it's a little different today. I don't know if I'm bragging or whining about the fact that I taught for 32 years in the exact same room, without ever changing my room, taught the same classes. So I was kind of entrenched there. And then when I retired, my wife retired from Procter & Gamble, we just fell in love with Cazenovia. And there's a lot of like-minded people here, a lot of art, which I'm very interested in. And, I enjoy using the college. There's no college in Norwich, so I use the pool and the facilities a lot of performances, a lot of shows. So it's really been a good fit for me, and a very relaxing place to retire.
So could you discuss or describe the objects in your drawer?
Okay, very simply, and I isolated the collection to just doorknobs. I have some old antique hinges, but then I'm not a reclamation center. I'm not going to old buildings and stripping them down and buying all the fixtures. I just like the doorknobs, so I concentrated on doorknobs. The biggest problem with the doorknobs is they're very difficult to display, so I have figured out some uses for them, but it's old doorknobs. There's basically 4 types that I have. Most of these are bronze, very heavy solid metal. There are others that are ceramic. I have boxes of ceramic doorknobs. They're much more common. There are a lot of glass doorknobs, and I have quite a few nickel-plated doorknobs. So doorknobs is kind of a funny thing to think about in terms of breaking them down, but I think they're an art form, and that's basically why I got started in them, and that's why I have them. This is the first time I've ever displayed them. I don't even display them in my house, really. Yeah.
So when did you begin collecting them?
Well, I taught, as I said, art in high school, and I was always talking to students about the creative process. How do you come up with a piece of art? What makes you determine what is going to become a piece of art? And I used the example, and I could use it with you. When you came in this building today, there was a doorknob or a door handle. Do you know what color that doorknob was? Do you know what it looked like? And nobody does. Because we look at things all the time in our daily routine. We look at things, but very few things do we actually see. We don't take the time. You just can't walk down the street and look at everything and stop and identify it and make a conscious recognition of it. So those things, we look at them, then we see them. And then after we see them, we react to them. That's interesting, I like that, I like the shape, I like the color, I like the texture. And then we may decide to interpret that. And we may interpret it, that's where the art is. We may interpret it realistically, we may interpret it with a photograph, we may interpret it abstractly with a different medium. And those are the 4 steps. And that's, I think, where it started, because no student who walked in the art room could tell me definitively what the color of the doorknob was. And they walk through that room every day, and every room in the whole school had it. But we just don't notice those things. So that I was trying to kind of force them to really look at things before they decide to interpret them. And then that led to me starting to look myself and really see these. And I started seeing these, and I'd pick them up here and there.
So
Doorknobs.
did it start as proving a point to your students? And that
I think so. And I would bring some in, and I'd show them that art and design can be everywhere. It's not just in a picture they took on a trip to the Grand Canyon or something like that. Design is so incorporated in every aspect of our daily life, naturally and man-made. And these, I think, are very interesting man-made doors. To take a simple thing that does such a simple action as open a door, it just turns, that's all it does. And then to take so many different interpretations of how that can incorporate design. I just thought it was fascinating. And a doorknob is a doorknob. And if you walk into Lowe's or Home Depot There's not a lot. You can get brass or gold plated, gold looking, or you can get silver, and the shapes are all fairly similar. There's not a lot of variation. There was a time when there was a lot of effort put into the design of simple things like that.
So would you say that they're classified as architecture pieces, interior design pieces?
That's a good question. Who designs a doorknob? Is it an architectural designer, or is it simply an artist? An artist who takes his design and turns it over to a manufacturer. I think of them as kind of architectural designs, but you could see that some of those designs, if you look at them, you could see those same designs applied to jewelry or maybe painting. And I'm sure a lot of them are influenced by designs in nature.
What are your favorite pieces in your collection?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really have I love the simplicity of the big, round, heavy one. And when you open that up, you'll see how heavy it is. But I also love the intricacy of some of these. The combination of some are very intricate and delicate, and some are more massive. And a lot of these came out of big, old Victorian homes. There are some doorknobs here, if you put them on your closet door in your house, they would just be way out of scale, way out of, over the top. But if you had a room like this, with 10 or 12 foot ceilings and massive doors that are not 80 inches tall, but maybe 90 inches tall, they fit very well. But I like the bigger bronze ones. That's why I did the collection. The glass, there's a lot of different glass shapes and designs, as you can see, the egg shape and so on. But the bronze, to me, is a little more impressive.
For example, I think you don't always find them, but this is called a backplate, and this is a backplate. So if you take this out, see, the doorknob by itself wasn't enough. This is what mounted on the wall, and then it's called a backplate. So this is very intricate design, and this little latch to cover the keyhole. You know, that's a lot of work, and probably a lot of expense to have these. But I like the detail and the intricacy of some of these, but at the same time, this is the one I was talking about with the massiveness, and this has another back plate. So that would be, the keyhole again is covered, and you can feel that. That's a pretty heavy piece of metal.
Wow,
And now,
that's really heavy.
these might be one of my favorites. This one, I love the detail on this. It's so intricate. I think that's beautiful. So it's hard to pick a favorite. There's just so many that they're different, and I like them a lot. I find them interesting. The one you have in your hand, here's this exact same knob from the same set, and this is a smaller back plate. So that fits right in here. They're interchangeable. So this would be more on an entry door, a formal door that you would lock. That might be on a closet door where you don't have to lock it. Okay? So, but as far as the favorite, it's hard to say, but I do have a lot more of these than some of them. I just have the knob. You know, there's no back plate or anything. That wasn't available. I didn't find it. Could only keep one. I would have a hard time deciding which one that would be.
So, do you know why they have keyhole covers? Or do you...
That's a good question. Whether it would be just to keep the weather out or for the appearance. I think it was just an ornate part of the design that people thought would look nicer. That's a good question, though.
Interesting.
So I really never found a great way to display them or a practical way to use them other than the coat hangers. And I have hundreds of these. I don't know how many coats I would ever want to hang in my house. I suppose as a display, you could just hang them on a wall. But the bottom line is they're dust catchers. It's really what I collect. It's what we all collect.